The episode is excellent, and I think it contains a lot of information, and I hope you can continue the video for the other, and we will also see whether Haifa and Obi really married Hassan Nasrallah at the age of adolescence and the fate of his daughter and her husband. We will also see two stories that I liked. I personally am at the end of the video, and we start with Nashwa Al-Anani. I published this news. Is he from Al-Mazri Al-Yum? Why Islam, Radwan? Don't you trust part of her husband to another woman? Natural Anani, I wrote enough blooms. Seriously enough. In the comments, Abdul Hamid wrote that she gives charity to what she does not have. For a person who is not entitled to a marriage contract, other than any contract in which one of its parties does not accept the assignment of any part of his obligations or rights to others, neither party has the right to violate their rights. Obligations before the other party? Eissa, the shooting in Jaffa is a terrorist act by two young Palestinians. Kill any civilian anywhere in the world. It represents a terrorist act. Aziz Al-Masriya published this photo. Details of the child, the sleeping pool seller in the subway station. From Cairo 24, where social media pioneers circulated a picture of a child in school clothes sleeping in one of the metro stations. The child was asleep, his head resting on his school bag, and next to him he swam. He works to sell her a picture of the child. I received great interaction on social networking sites, and ISIS wrote, "Isn't this child better for Al-Azhar to spend on him instead of the Syrian, Palestinian, Sudanese and others?" Also, in the photo from under one of the photo traders, he confirmed that the child was selling swimming to assist his elderly mother with his brother's expenses. In Sheikh Khaled al-Jundi, in one of his programs, he said that the history of the Copts is bright and white. No terrorist emerged from them. He blew himself up in someone who wrote a comment on this news. Why is it bright and white? Don't they study it in curricula, schools and colleges? Ranim is a Palestinian researcher who wrote about the Israeli army's century-long bombing of the West Bank. Blessings. O Irad, and the blessings of your missiles are Karim Jahin. Who among you knows the state of Ahwaz? 375,000 kilometers, with a population of about 10,000 Sunni Arabs living without any rights, literally in hell under the Iranian occupation. They are abused daily, killed, blocked and tortured to erase their Arab culture and Shiism, but they resist this. With all bravery, have you seen a single Arab who sympathizes with them? I saw one Arab meeting demanding their freedom. Has Iran occupied any other non-Arab country? Has Iran created militias to destroy states from within in any non-Arab country? Has Iran interfered in the affairs of any non-Arab country? Has Iran killed any non-Sunni Arabs in the world, while you killed 7,000 Sunni Arabs in 7 Arab countries and destroyed them? The answer is no to all of the above, and the Arabs are still applauding the Iranian regime, which aspires to seize the entire Gulf and destroy the rest of the Arab countries from within. This is not a revelation. Is it a warning? Because giving medicine to Arab peoples is like giving it to a corpse. Lifeless between the benefits of Dr. Khaled Montaser, he wrote news and rumors about the assassination of Hashem Safi al-Din. He was the current leader of the party, who was supposed to be after Nasrallah Selim. He wrote that the size of the security penetration inside Hezbollah is large, according to the conspiracy theory. Iran is not leading long in this penetration and in the speech of the Iranian leader. Ali Khamenei said that every strike against Israel serves the entire region. He also says that Israel will not achieve victory over Hamas and Hezbollah. He also says that Israel will not survive. Neji stayed for the story of Haifa Wehbe. Did she marry someone who denied the news of her marriage to Hezbollah Secretary General Hassan Nasrallah? After the media reported the news a lot over the past few days, she told CNN in Arabic, "It's not the first time she's been rumored to be married to unrelated figures." Wehbe said in an interview published by CNN in full Arabic later, commenting on the news of her marriage to the Secretary General of the Lebanese Party with wide influence among the Shiite community, "I did not marry Nasrallah, whom I see as a respectable and wise person." Haifa Wehbe added that she had previously found it in a television interview in 2010 on a question about the man her heart beats when she sees him. She claimed that he was Hassan Nasrallah, but not as a lover or husband, or about Hassan Nasrallah's real wife, as she is Fatima Yassin, and she plays an important and major role in the life of the late Nasrallah, and her arrival dates back to the village of Abbasiyah in southern Lebanon. She also descends from deep roots in this region and gave birth to it. 5 of the 10 children of the martyr Muhammad Hadi Nasrallah, who died in a battle of the Lebanese Hezbollah. Despite this, Fatima chooses to stay away from the limelight and media appearances, preferring a quiet life, often for security reasons and to protect their personal lives. On the other hand, Dr. Khaled Montaser published the photo of me eating and showing the rope in his hand. Let's see what books are in the picture. These are the books of One Forgotten, The Happiness of Heaven, the author. They brought them. He enlarged my picture and sold it to me. And also, he was relieved. He went to pray. You reserved your seat in hell. He preferred it. He threatened me as the monopolist of paradise. I told him, yes, I am wearing against the Hab in his joy. And I also found this silver necklace. Egypt has still known it since the 80s, and I believe that Islam. Entering Egypt before this date, gold bullion suddenly became forbidden. When Egypt became full of faith, often those who wear them relax, even if they have an opportunity. At times people tell them to look back and be pious. Of course, he received many comments. On the occasion of reserving your seat in the fire, Hossam wrote to him, how many seats did you reserve? Hossam al-Zarqani wrote, the Shiite Islamic Revolution in Iran, 1979. All countries entered the race of extremism. The most intense is the closest to God. Therefore, the benefit behind it is victory and the guarantee of paradise. Kings and presidents they now have. In preserving their thrones, and the most important of these kings are the kings of Saudi Arabia, who spent billions of dollars on spreading Wahhabi Salafism in the Arab countries, and of course, in order to preserve their thrones in Saudi Arabia for fear of exporting the Islamic Revolution to them, the Iranian Revolution brought ruin to the entire Middle East. We wanted to eliminate the developed countries. The civilized Shaima wrote a double on it, the most beautiful name Sama. By the way, Sama date is the wife of Dr. Khaled Montaser. For those who do not know, she is the daughter of the great artist Abu Bakr Ezzat, and this is her picture for those who do not know her. Shaima continued by saying, isn't it possible that the name Sama will get you into this fire? Mama Sama alone is a guarantor. You all enter heaven, my love. May God bless her, her work and her devotion to her country and her children. It will cool in your presence and in your children, O Lord. And I did something like that. To Sama Abu Bakr as Muhammad, he wrote it, meaning he is wearing a gold bracelet and a watch in your hand. The north is shaving your chin and having a long good morning, and you want to fear paradise. Dr. Ellen, I wrote empty people, and empty people make a judge and control people. On the other hand, there was misleading news that Adel Emam's brother-in-law, was exposed to fraud from environmental sites. The union published the news, and it was written in the news that writer Akram al-Sadani revealed that Mr. Hisham al-Shalani, the husband of leader Adel Emam's sister, was exposed to fraud through one of the sales sites, as the writer confirmed that the defendant. He wrote a report, and the investigation is actually underway, and he wrote a post on Facebook in which he said, "My dear friend, a businessman." Nasib Army? Adel Emam Hisham al-Shalkani, unfortunately, was exposed to Nasser's operation through sales sites and began to inform me that the process of fraud is easier than reporting the fraudsters. What is he in? John was a 7-year-old boy. One day, John asked his grandmother, and he said to her, "I don't know how to pray to my grandmother. Do you teach me?" My grandfather replied that prayer is neither teaching nor memorization. "My boy, it's like talking to someone you love and he loves you. Jesus loves you so much. Do you love her too?" John responded in innocence of children, "Yes, I love him very much." In Nanny, I see his pictures. Very beautiful, very sweet. His grandmother told him he's beautiful. Whenever you get close to praying, stand before his beautiful picture and speak as if talking. A friend of mine, and John said, "I still don't know what to say to him, and will he hear me, and will he answer me?" Eventually, she said to him, "Well, what if you give him a morning greeting at least every day?" John thought for a moment, then said curiously, "Herd's medicine on my grandmother." Grandma quickly replied to end his confusion, "Yes, but he may be a little late in responding because there are so many people asking him, and he must answer them too." The important thing is that John was happy with these words and convinced by them. It was agreed from the very next day. Every morning, the first thing he does when he wakes up, and to look at the picture of Christ in his room and say, "Good morning, Papa Jesus." The years passed, and John walked a strong young man, still as usual, and never tired. Every morning he looks at the picture and says, "Good morning, Papa Jesus." He didn't get bored, even though the picture never returned to him. One day, John's father and mother traveled, and his brothers came at dawn to visit some relatives, and John was not with them because he was sleeping, and a person's school day was waiting for him. Unfortunately, fate wanted a horrible incident to happen to them, and they all died. John couldn't believe his ears when they called me, waking him up. At this sad news, he stayed silent for a moment. Led them more office, some helpless sitting on his bed, still unable to move, and with the same stunned feeling, modified goes and buries his parents and brothers on his way to the chamber door. Pass over the picture of Christ hanging on the wall. John looked at her very sadly. He said, tears streaming from his eyes in a hoarse voice, "Good morning, Daddy. Forgive me, for I do not meet you with my smile today, for I am very sad. My father and mother are gone, my hobbies are gone, and I am alone. I can't imagine living alone in this house. I still need someone to take care of me, as I used to love them very much. Oh, my sadness, and oh, your encouraging smile that has always been charmed me, gave me joy," Junior continued. The picture happened, and he found himself praying without intending or realizing that this was prayer, which he was trying to learn. And John did not wake up from his prayer in which he told Christ about his sadness, and he was only tired of the sound of the phone ringing again with a trembling hand. Raise the divine earpiece in asking who the student is? The caller answered him, "I am a hospital doctor. We went to the scene of the accident to lift the bodies." On our way back to the hospital, we stopped a man wearing a white uniform. His face is beautiful, his eyes are very sweet, and we asked her who he is and what's his identity. He replied that he was your friend and that he was a doctor, and your friend got into the ambulance which was carrying the bodies, and I did not know what he did because I was outside the traffic controller and did not care what he did to my confidence in the death of people who were in the cars, but one of the drivers he saw him in the interior mirror of the car, blowing in the face of the deceased who was taking him with him in his car, and it was a surprise. They all came back to life, and the screening machines declared that they were all alive. John remained unable to respond, stunned by what he heard. His features mixed joy with astonishment and tears. In the end, the doctor asked who was talking. "And this stranger wasn't you? What's his name?" Doctor's response? The doctor replied, "No, but told me to give you one very strange message in such circumstances." John asked, confused, "What's the message?" The doctor said to him, "Morning light, O hunger, attributed to me, and my words are established in you. Ask what you want, and it will be for you in the Gospel John chapter 15. And let the name of Asma be glorified." Nigi stayed for the second story. I bought a miracle for 1.25 pounds. Mary stood at the door of her sick brother Tony's room following the conversation between her parents. Father said, "What are we going to do? He's on the verge of death, which is Tony, and he needs a quick brain operation, and we have nothing. His life is in danger. Who's gonna save him?" The mother answered, tears streaming down her eyes, "It takes a miracle." Mary could not bear the sight, but hurried to her room and opened it. It was where she put the rest of her allowance. When she had £1.25, she began counting the amount 3 times to confirm the amount, and saw that it was 1.25 pounds. She did not ask her father's permission, but rather quickly. The pond. I set off to the pharmacy next door there. I found the pharmacy talking to a customer. The conversation between them lasted. The pharmacist did not care for the child Mary, who was 8 years old. We put her mourning on the pharmacist's desk, and he looked at her with disdain and asked her what she wanted. The child answered, reinforced by Tahiti. The pharmacist told her what she wanted. "I want to buy a miracle to heal my brother," in disdain. The pharmacist said, "We do not produce miracles." I asked him, "Where can I find a miracle to buy it?" And before the pharmacist answers, if the client tells him how much you have, he answered you with me, 1.25 pounds, which is all I have. The person smiled and asked her, "Why do you want to buy it?" She said to the patient's brother, so he asked her about her brother, and he learned from her that he needed brain surgery. Then he asked her to give him the money she had, and then he told her that the price of the miracle was 1.25 pounds. The customer is with Mary. She thought he would go with her to another pharmacy to buy her the miracle, but he asked her for her home address. There he met her parents, took the child to his clinic, and operated on the child as he was older. Brain surgeon in town. The operation was successful. The child returned home, and all thanks were to the doctor for what he did with them. The mother said to the father, "Thank God for sending us this doctor at the right time to perform the operation for free. It's a miracle." Mary intervened and told her mother I paid for the miracle. I gave him everything the pound did, and forth I bought the miracle with it. the mother embraced her daughter and told her the concept of a miracle, and that it was God who arranged her brother's healing. The real price of a miracle is her love. For her brother, she reached her for him, giving all she had for him. The 2 rakahs thanked God for his immense love for mankind. Foolish, O Lord, the spirit of love for all, give me the spirit of giving and giving for everyone. If you like the video, I hope you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so that you can receive everything new, and share comments with us. Thanks to all the fans and followers. Thank you.